What is up, YouTube? So I'm back with another reaction video. Today I have the Asian Jamal Crawford Cam versus Koda. This was the most viewed video from the TNC versus San Francisco series. So I was definitely going to check this out. I'll be entirely transparent. This is not my first time viewing the video. I actually tried to record the reaction for this last night. I was super tired, not really paying attention, not talking that much. I don't even remember very well what happened, but this is not the first viewing, just to be entirely clear. But I wanted to upload like a reaction and my thoughts on it anyway.
A lot of space. He's in the ABC crew.
Oh my god.
So much
Yeah, and like the moment I saw that push cross, yeah, I just remembered how fast Cam is.
On just that. Downhill push cross, downhill push cross. He's gonna get to that a lot.
I wonder whose first step is quicker. Yeah, and then Koda, he has like a super snappy handle, and he himself is very quick.
I like his shirt.
Like they're probably
Child of God. I love
the
it.
two quickest players in the gym. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Oh, 2 feet. Oh, make it for me.
Yeah, and Cam is just very generally athletic. Like that vertical pop, the first step on that rip through was like lightning, and then like the vertical pop at the rim. But yeah, this is I mean, for Koda, especially like in your YouTube debut, this is a high-profile matchup because Cam has very strong argument for I think he's pretty like easily within the top 10 in the community. Like coming off of that win in the NextChapter pay-per-view.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goes for top of the key. Cam playing up here.
Has he pulled?
Yeah, that's something I noticed when I was watching it last night. Actually, now I remember. Cam was really fouling on Koda's landing.
He doesn't really contest the ball.
Yeah, and BLS,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's a nice catch by BLS. Yeah, Koda tries to contest at the face.
Yes.
So if you're doing that, you kind of have to reach forward more, and because of that, it puts you like susceptible to fouling on the landing, especially. Okay, so I'm gonna pause a lot more. One of my friends, shout out to Basil. One of my friends, he watched my video and he actually encouraged me to like pause and break down. He thought it was like insightful. So yeah, this Basil's influence. Shout out to him. This move, it's just interesting because like this is technically a travel, because the like according to the rule book, like out of the triple threat, if you're going to dribble, the ball has to release on the dribble before your pivot foot lifts off the ground, or before your pivot foot lifts or slides. Here, his pivot foot's his left foot, and it obviously like it's in there right now. The ball's still in his hand, so his pivot foot lifts before the ball is released. So like it's technically a travel, but it's pretty vague because on the rip through, the pivot foot like almost always lifts before the ball is released on the dribble. And no one calls it. Like the NBA doesn't call it. The NBA always lets it go. It's one of those like silent refereeing conventions, those unspoken refereeing conventions kind of. Overseas, like in FIBA and stuff, it's called. I remember NBA players were getting in trouble for it in FIBA. So it's like vague because on the one hand, the rip through isn't called, but this is like a very different move than the rip through. And yeah, it's just hard because like if you're gonna let the rip through go, why not let every other move where the pivot foot lifts a little bit before the dribble's released? Why not let those go too, you know? But then at the same time, the rip through is really like a core part of the game. That move that Koda just did, that's a niche move. It's not like you're gonna see everyone doing that move. But yeah, I just thought that was a pretty good opportunity to kind of introduce what I think is like an interesting discussion about like basketball rules, conventions, and everything.
Oh my God. Escape dribble.
Yeah, I lost it there.
We are in the Bay. Little Curry slide.
I actually saw that Koda is also friends with that's really tough.
Moving and groove.
Michael Jackson.
What Mike Jack do? Moonwalk.
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh.
Yeah, like Koda's giving up the shot. I think he's just wary of Cam's first step.
Cam's up. Behind the back, cross.
Low-key there. That was a really, really tough move. Very, very tough move.
Cam's up. Cam's up. Behind the back.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is low-key right there again.
The top of the key.
Koda, his pivot foot lifts before the dribble's released, and it's not on a rip through. Like everyone knows the rip through. Everyone lets the rip through go. Like at least in the U.S. But this is not a rip through, so yeah, again, it's like vague. Do you let it go?
Behind the back, cross.
I would say like overall, just like NBA, like in the U.S., just from what I've seen, from like what I can remember, NBA and whatever else, Big Three. Refs call that probably like 10% of the time. And that was a super... Okay, I'm gonna replay it. That was a super quick pull. Like, Koda doesn't have a high set point. Like, it's right in front of his face, his set point. But, like, he got that off over, like... Cam was, like, kind of there. It's not like he was, like, completely out of the picture. He contested. He got that off over the contest because, like, he just picked the ball up and got into his, like, shooting motion so quick. That was, like, really, really quick. Usually if you have a set point like that, it's going to be really, really hard to get that shot off over that kind of contest. But... And his handle, like, he really has wiggle. Like, his handle is so snappy.
I'm not even going to cap. He's giving me a Burke vibe.
But yeah, they're right. He did kind of over dribble there. Like he snatched after he did the wraparound to the right. He snatched before the defender was even recovered. So on the first viewing, I actually didn't catch what Rob said there, but he basically said that I think he said that Koda and Ryan, I'm pretty sure they're both Filipino.
But it's just is he going to play the defense it takes to win? That's what it's going to come down to.
Koda and Ryan, Rob, I'm pretty sure he said that they kind of have like they play similarly. And when I watched it last night, I remember like at the end thinking like, yeah, they really do. They seem like they're just friends. Like in fact, I think that's Ryan right there, like in frame for a second on the right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Ryan right here, like coaching Koda. Yeah, and then Cam smoked that. I remember that one.
What he smoked? Black and mild, Swisher Sweets.
But yeah, I think Rob's insightful to notice that. That's tough. That was a really tough bucket. Yeah, Rob is insightful to notice that Koda and Ryan kind of play similarly.
Squares up. Shots there.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. I think Cam even like contests this call. Like Cam does. Yeah, did Cam just say like that's not a foul? That one's really blatant. Yeah, I think Cam just said that's not a foul. That is like that was so blatantly a foul. That was very easily a foul. Like Cam's. It isn't even Koda's forefoot that's undercut by Cam that lands on Cam. It's not even the forefoot, the one that's closest to Cam. It's literally the back foot or hind foot that like lands on Cam. So if you're closing out and then you undercut a guy's back foot, like unless they're doing like the prime Houston Rockets like jump into really jump into the defender, which Koda didn't do here. His legs aren't even on a vertical plane past the 3-point line. So Koda definitely, it's not like he's leaping like 4 feet forward. If you as the defender undercut the guy's back foot on his landing, like that's really blatant a foul. Come on.
When you watch it back, he landed right in his zone. I saw it immediately.
Yeah, Cam really undercut him.
Ball.
So Koda, like BLS just said, Koda was giving that shot up. as far as I remember, Koda was really giving that shot up until Cam like already was really punishing him with that shot. That might. I'm not gonna replay it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the Nesco elbow swipe foul.
Right there again.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so two things. One, Cam undercut Koda like damn.
Right there again.
Wow.
He's in his
And then,
zone.
so yeah, Cam undercut him again. And then second, that's the move Ryan did.
Heck out of there.
Ryan was doing that like out of the triple threat, doing like a misdirection move to the left into a pull-up three. That like, Rob, that was so tough. That was so, the handle is just so snappy.
He was into space there again.
And then, I feel, damn, I might be like talking too much honestly right now. I'm saying so much. I just want to point out that kind of on this like rip through, or like this sweep through, or like jab to the right.
That's a dangerous play.
He was into space there again.
Right here, Koda, he has like a really like shifty, interesting like cadence to the move, at least the way he did it there, because his sweep of the ball is so disjointed from like the movement of the body. Like usually a lot of the time players that aren't quite like as like deceptive, if they're gonna move the ball, they're like moving it with their body, so it's like ball and body at the same time. But Koda, he disjointed it, and like the cadence to it, he just did it really well. Super deceptive.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Tough. Very tough.
16.
Yeah, him and Ryan, like Ryan's right there. Him and Ryan really look like friends. They play similarly. I mean, they're like from the same area if they're like both playing in this, representing San Francisco. So you saw at the start of the game that Cam was actually like checking up back here, so that he was playing downhill again like he did in the pay-per-view event against Mike Harden. But Koda was giving him so much space that Cam could actually still play. He didn't have to check up back here to play downhill anymore. He could check up right at the 3-point line and still play downhill, because Koda's giving him so much space that Cam can attack it and like meet him with downhill momentum. Anyway,
Being very decisive, said I'm getting downhill this possession.
and that's something interesting. Like the kind of like this. I feel like there's a pattern of like increased downhill play where like guys will start further. They're checking the ball. Yeah, Cam is just super explosive scorer.
Huge answer. And that
Super explosive. And then I don't know why they took like 30 seconds to give Koda that timeout. Yeah, that right here, like this is like a super downhill setup.
maybe all the way to the cup here.
It's just interesting because I feel like we're seeing it more and more in the 1v1 community. Like there were 4 games, right? On the NextChapter pay-per-view, there were 4 games. There was
He's going.
there was Tay versus Zay, Moon versus Nesco, Cam versus Mike Harden, and then Scoop versus Rob,
16-7.5.
and then Friga Nas. Yeah, and so there were 5 games.
San Francisco's been really good in the first half.
That was really good. That was so tough.
Good defense.
So like Tim Hardaway cross to the right, and then the runaway.
Koda needs a bucket here.
That was really tough. Cam and Koda kind of have like somewhat similar playstyle, honestly.
Like you said, so every first half.
Like even their jumpers, they both have a pretty low set point, and it's super like they get into the shot and lift super quick. And they're both like very shifty, like snappy handle, quick players. But yeah, in 3 of the 5 NextChapter pay-per-view events, it was Cam and Mike Harden. It was these 3: Cam and Mike Harden, Scoob and Rob, and then Friga Nas. You saw at least one of the players use this downhill setup where they check up really far. So like Cam used it against Mike, and then Scoob used it against Rob, and then Nas used it against Friga.
Step back.
Very, very tough. Cam was such an explosive scorer.
We are
Like,
currently on
Drew,
a
like,
16-0 run.
Koda was up. Like, wait, hold on. What was the run?
We are currently on a 16-0 run.
16-0 run. Yeah, that's crazy. It was 6, so it was 16-7. Yeah, it was 16-7, and now it's 23-16 in Cam's favor.
TNC has owned the
He's
second
just
half.
like super, just really such an explosive scorer.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's tough. Yeah, and Cam, you can really tell when he starts loosening up and playing freely, because he'll just like he'll get really creative and crafty and kind of just start trying a lot of stuff.
Cam's heated up.
And Koda, honestly, he strikes me as that kind of player too.
Up a run to make this a ball game.
I feel like I've been harping on this point the entire video, but yeah, like back to the playing downhill ones like that is
Him and Ryan.
like
I'm
the
telling you,
drawback
he
is you have to use another dribble like to close the
but they're
space.
Very similar.
That was tough.
Cam's pulling away, fellas. This may be a 10+.
I could kind of see the carry on that one.
You
Yeah.
think he carried there, son?
So yeah, when you play downhill, like you have to use whole nother dribble. That he's really fast. You have to use a whole nother dribble to like
Which one?
get all the way to the rim and everything. Like the offensive player has to cover more ground, basically. That is so. Yeah, he missed that one. I remember when I watched that. When I watched that last night, yeah, I thought he was gonna hit that. I got super excited.
Fellas, this is.
Koda kind of just lost
like
rhythm.
1v1. It's Boa constricting.
Yeah.
He scored 1
It
point.
has been.
Oh my god, game time.
Oh. But yeah, I'll just try to say this real quick. When you play downhill, yeah, you need to like. There's more distance between you and the rim as the offensive player. So, like, if you want to get all the way to the rim, you're gonna have to use more dribbles. Yeah. But then conversely, the defensive player has to cover more ground. Like there's just way more territory on the court that they have to respect. If they play up, if they meet you all the way out here, there's just way more court space that they have to cover now. And then if they don't meet you up there, then they're letting you. Well, one, they're giving you like. I think Koda just lost on that one. I don't know what happened there. If they don't play up there, so you're like back here, and then the defender's like at the 3-point line. One, they give up the open shot. Granted, it's a deep three, but like a lot of players at this level can hit that. So is that Kenny Chow? I didn't notice. Oh, that's Kenny. Yeah, I didn't notice that. And then Slim, yeah. Shout out to Kenny. That's tough. But yeah, they have to cover more court space, and if they don't meet you up there, then they're one giving you the deep three like wide open, or they're letting you like come at them like you can like attack all this space, and then you come at them. Granted, you use a dribble, but you come at them, and now you have like a full head of steam. Whereas if you're checking up right at the line, kind of, that was so tough. Yeah, I didn't notice that when I didn't notice that when I watched it last night. Marcellus immediately calls it out as the Millie Rock move. Austin Mills' signature. And then Cam points at Austin. Yeah, he points right at Austin. I didn't notice that on the first viewing. That's really funny. That's cool.
32-17.
Was that Friga or Burke?
32.
I can't. That might be neither. That might not be either of them.
Cam, I'm honored, first of all. I'm honored, first of all. I love Cam.
That was super tough.
The game on a 25-1 run since halftime. Well, now.
Okay, really quickly, because I was trying to make it the entire video, I'm gonna finish this point about like the downhill ones, because I think there's a chance like it becomes kind of like a staple in the community, like it becomes like a widely used tactic, or it shapes the meta of this like 1v1 play. Yeah, if the guy like if he's not coming up all the way out there, not only is he giving up the open shot if you want it, the defender is giving up the open shot if you want it. Not only that, but he's also letting you attack him and like close the gap, like attack that space and meet him with a full head of steam. Something you see in a lot of these one-on-ones when the offensive player like checks up closer to the line, like you really saw it on when Friga was on offense and Nas was on defense in their pay-per-view matchup. The defensive player can like push the offensive player off their path at the top of their move. So like the offensive player makes their move and then the defensive player just like nudges them off their path and it disrupts everything. Now when you play all the way back here, now you make it riskier and harder for the defender to be close to play you tight enough to push you off path at the top of the move. Because if the defender does play you tight enough to push you off path at the top of the move, well now they have to cover so much more space. Like if they decide to play you tight, there's so much more space they have to cover. And if they don't play you tight, again, you can attack them with a full head of steam. You already have your momentum. They couldn't push you at the top of your move because they were so far back. And on top of that, they're giving up the wide open deep three. So yeah, I'm just really curious. Like I feel like that kind of like downhill setup, like you check the ball pretty far out. I feel like it could honestly like shape the meta of this 1v1 play in the community, just because like like against certain defenders like Nas, physicality at the top of the move is just so problematic. It's honestly preferable to just like start further back and yeah, maybe you need to use an extra dribble, but at least on your move, you're not disrupted. That took like that was a lot of yapping, I feel like, in this reaction video. That was hard for me to explain. Like it was hard for me to get it out, honestly. I don't know why. But yeah, so anyway, that was the video. That's the reaction. I'm not gonna lie, on second viewing, it was still a very entertaining watch, especially because I caught details I didn't catch last night, and then I also just forgot kind of some things that happened. But yeah, super, like, really exciting video. I'd definitely be down to see more of Koda. But yeah, with that, I will catch you all next time.